This is our first episode ever, y'all. We are going to discuss the erotic high-stakes thriller Bound. So this film stars two of the hottest actresses of the 90s and still of our time now. They're still both very hot. Gina Gershon and Jennifer Tilly.
Welcome to But I'm a Lesbian, the podcast where we serve alt baddie sass, queer film reviews, and everything in between. Whether you're a baby gay
or a queer elder, we're here, we're queer, and we're diving deep into all things lesbian. We're your hosts, Caitlin
and Angelina.
Get ready for some sapphic serotonin.
So, Caitlin, why did you want to start this podcast?
Okay, I wanted to start this podcast because I never really had anyone to talk to about my love for lesbian and sapphic movies and shows and books. Any type of lesbian media I have been very into, and I never really had anyone to talk to about it, and I felt kind of alone in some ways. I convinced my wife to watch movies she didn't really want to see a lot of the time because I just needed somebody to watch it with me. So when I met you and you liked all the same movies and shows as me, even if some of them are from before you were born, I was so excited to be able to talk about it. And I thought, there are probably so many people that feel the same way that I felt, kind of isolated and not able to share this thing that they love because they don't know any other gay people. What about you, Angelina?
I feel the same way. I didn't really have lesbian friends growing up, and so I would just watch the movies by myself, and then I'd be like, oh my God, I wish I had someone to talk to about this, and, you know, make either my family, depending on some of the movies, but I'd be like, you know, watch this movie with me, you know? And so I feel the same when we met and we were like, oh my God, have you seen this movie? Have you seen that movie? It was really nice. So being able to share my opinions and also discovering new things, I feel like that means a lot to me. So
yes. Yeah. Okay. You mentioned having your family watch with you.
Yeah.
And that's so funny because when the L Word was still on, so like 2007-ish, I would make my mom watch it with me. And she also was very attracted to Shane. And then, okay, but then this is why it took me so long to realize I was a lesbian, because I was like, well, my mom's straight and she thinks Shane's hot. So I think everyone thinks Shane's hot. But I did realize at some point that I never wanted to have a relationship with a man. So that was different than my mom.
Yeah.
But I did make her watch it. And I remember there was this scene, it's pretty famous, where Shane goes over to Sherry Jaffe's house, like already strapped up. And then they're like doing it on the edge of the pool.
Yes.
And it was so awkward to watch with my mom when I was 17.
But also, can we just say, like, props to your mom for watching with you so that you would have, like, a friend to watch it with?
Yes. And then she didn't know that I was gay for 2 more years. And then when I came out, she was all surprised.
Are you just, so you watched the L Word with her and she's just like, I don't know why Caitlin is gay. Like, I don't understand. Like,
yeah, they bought me the box set when I was 18 of all the seasons on DVD for Christmas and did not understand that I was gay.
Oh my gosh.
They were very confused when I started dating a woman.
They're like, what? We never saw this coming.
Yes, exactly. Anywho, sorry, that was a little off topic. So for our first episode, this is our first episode ever, y'all. We are going to discuss the erotic high-stakes thriller Bound. So this film stars two of the hottest actresses of the 90s and still of our time now. They're still both very hot. Gina Gershon and Jennifer Tilly.
But first things first, let's discuss our hot takes.
Okay, yes. Okay. So my hot take on Bound, it maybe, I don't know, I guess this could be a hot take. I think it's really silly that they named Gina Gershon's character Corky, because I think it's kind of a silly name. No offense to anyone named Corky that's watching. I'm sorry if that's your name. I don't mean to be mean, but I just don't think it's a sexy, cool name. And her character is sexy and cool.
Yeah.
And the name rhymes with dorky, so to me it just seems like a dorky name. I don't know.
I can see that. They were just like, let's think of like the most masculine, edgy name, Corky.
I think it's also because it's kind of like mob related, and I
Yeah.
think there's a mob person named like Corky something in other movies or in
Yeah.
real life. That's a man. I don't know. Anyway, what's your hot take?
So my hot take is, and I think we purposely don't tell each other our hot take, so it can actually be a hot take.
Surprise.
Yeah. And I know you're not going to agree with me on this one, but I think Jennifer Tilly was way hotter than Gina Gershon in this particular movie. But watching it for the first time, I thought Gina Gershon was obviously like way more hotter. But I was just like, okay, Jennifer, go off, Violet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can see where you're coming from. It is a hot take. And I don't agree, but I think Jennifer Tilly is beautiful. It's just that I have such a specific type, as I literally just mentioned without being prompted. I love Shane. I love the women that are a little more on the mask side. And so, of course, I saw Gina Gershon, who's literally so beautiful, but she's playing this like butch handyman character. And I was like, oh, I am all about this. And I forgot about Jennifer Tilly. She's beautiful, but I was like, I want to be her, and I want to be with Corky.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. You need a shirt that says I heart masks.
I know, I do. But then I think my wife would be like, excuse me, you only
I heart masks
me.
And then Hua in
like, just a picture. Just I heart my wife.
Yeah.
So it's almost time for a break. So coming up next, we're going to dive deeper into Bound. We'll do our recap. But now it's time for a quick break and an ad from our sponsors. Actually, we don't have any sponsors yet. So just imagine it's an ad for dental dams, and we'll be back in a little bit.
Welcome back to But I'm a Lesbian. This week, we are discussing the 1996 neo-noir crime thriller Bound. So, okay.
You're gonna be recapping this one for us?
Yes.
Okay. I will chime in with
yes.
Probably just me saying that Gina Gershon is hot.
Yeah, in each scene, you're like, wait, Gina's in that one? Yes,
Did
she's
you
hot.
know that
did you
I'm
know?
attracted to this? Yeah.
So the movie starts off very gay already, if you couldn't tell. Like, Violet and her man are in the elevator. We see Corky. They're staring at each other. Lots of stares, lots of tension, I feel like, for me already, with, like, two people that have just met. But, like, you know, they leave. Gina's like checking her out, or should I say Corky in this? But Corky's checking Violet out, you know, they walk. So basically, we don't really get to know what Corky is about other than she's coming to work at this building here, and Violet seems very interested in her, because one of the very like next scenes after that is them introducing each other. Like, she goes over, and I think we had said that she's a dom femme. Like, she absolutely knows what she wants, and she's going to go for it. She's like, she saw Corky and was just like sight set on her. Yeah. So she goes over, and she's just like introducing herself, asking, and there's a lot of flirting. There's a lot of hand shots, which is really interesting. Yeah. Is it not?
It was so lesbian that they did that. I had to look up if the directors were lesbians. And I don't know if they are. I know that they are LGBTQ and they're siblings. But I don't know. It was just so gay that they kept showing the hands.
Right?
I was like, oh.
The hands, but also the looks. Like, when they would stare at each other. Yeah, the like, you know, it's not just like a normal look that you're just like looking. It's just like
aggressive eye contact.
Very aggressive. Yes. And like the way they talk, especially Violet, like it was like giving like seductive in this movie. Yeah. But so was Corky, but you know what I mean. Anyway, so
I mean, Violet always had her boobs out.
They were like, push up. She's mob wife kind of vibe. So she has to be. But also, I'm just like, okay, yes. Like, you're doing that in a very lesbian way.
Yeah.
So Corky goes to a bar, and we learn that she is an ex-con. She just got out. She tries to go and pick up some girls, but the cop comes. They're in a lesbian bar, obviously, if you couldn't tell that already.
Yeah.
So she comes and is just like, I see you around here. Like, this is my girl. And Corky's just like, whatever. Like, I'm so done with this. So next scene after. But I guess that was just there, honestly, to just be like, in case you were wondering, yes, she is a lesbian.
Yeah, I think they
like,
had to put that there.
Like that subtle, like, lesbian bar where she's like, I just want to
Yes.
get laid.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh, I think they also want us to know, which they will talk about a little later. She's kind of a fuckboy lesbian. I don't know if that's a term other people use, but that's a term I use because it's gross to me. But I'm still attracted to her. But she's kind of a fuckboy. She just literally looked around the bar and saw like the only femme that was sitting there
She's
and was like,
yeah.
I'm gonna get her. So I guess I get that the cop was like, hey, buzz off, but also like,
also, I know you, like, you just
Yeah.
got out. And she's like, oh my God.
oh yeah,
like-
ACAB.
Whatever. Yeah, even though you're a lesbian, it's still a cab, okay?
Yeah. So no.
yeah, exactly. It's a no. And so then we know that Violet obviously is in the mob life, and we see like her man Caesar, which is there's way too many scenes with him anyways, but we see him and we know that he's in the business. But Corky, obviously, kind of. I know the business, but that's what, the family.
I know. When you said her man sees her,
Yeah.
I thought you were saying her man sees her. And I was like, where?
Her man sees her with Corky.
Literally, because I forgot. I keep forgetting his name. His name is Caesar.
Yeah, his name is Caesar.
Yeah.
But a little play.
Caesar's Palace. Okay, yeah.
I was like, wait, am I saying something wrong?
No, sorry. I feel like my face changed too.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, that's okay.
I forgot about him. So, anywho.
So we know that he's in the family, he's in the business, but Violet does not care. She's just trying to get with Corky, honestly. So she calls her up and she's just like, can you come help me? Like, I lost my earring down the drain. And Corky's like, I will be right over.
Yeah, she's like a damsel in distress.
She's like, what?
I'm here. I will save you, ma'am.
Yeah, exactly. So she's like, let me hurry on over, which honestly, they're literally right there, like down the hall from each other. Are they not?
I think they're literally next
right
door.
there. Yeah, they're next door.
Yeah.
But they never really show, which I always thought was like so funny because, anyways. So she goes over and Violet, again, the flirting ensues. They're just very like, you can feel that tension. So she gets her earring out and Violet's plan is exposed. She's like, you did this on purpose. And Violet's basically like, yeah, I did. And what? Like, what are you going to, like,
she's like, I'm a bad girl. Are you going to punish me?
She's like, make a move already.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I've had to introduce myself. I've had to like get you over here. And so Corky's just like, interesting. So they're sitting down at the couch. They're doing like, honestly, this is like foreplay. Like, are they not? Like, they are talking to each other. They're just like, like what's the next move,
Yeah.
And she's just like, I love your tattoo.
Yes, I was going to say, is that when she pulls out the, I like your tattoo.
Oh, which is like, again, like a little like, oh my God, like if you know kind of thing because it's elaborate. And she's like, are you surprised that I know that? And Corky's just like, like, I feel like Corky's just like kind of trying to see like, what kind of person she is, Yeah. But obviously she's not going to turn Violet down because one, she's hot, and two, she's a fuckboy lesbian.
Obviously.
Yeah. And so she's like, okay, they start kissing. They are like, honestly, what we're thinking, like they're going to have sex. But here comes a man ruining the day once again. He opens.
Just like a man.
Exactly. Just like he would. He comes in and he's just like, who is this? Because he only sees Corky from the back, which obviously she has like shorter hair and it looks like a man, right? Mm-hmm. And then once he sees Corky, he's like, oh my God, like, let me introduce myself, which, okay, I know you wrote in your notes too, I did not like write that specifically, but when they shake hands after she was like literally fingering her, I thought that was so crazy because she's just like smiling and Caesar's just so oblivious. Like he just doesn't know, like, and so
it felt like a power move, kind of like, I was just doing stuff with your girl.
Yeah,
now
and you don't know. Yeah. And so basically, he thanks Corky for doing a good job and offers her like this large sum of money, which she is like forced to take because he's like, we take care of each other around here. And if you don't take it, then I'm going to worry about you. And you don't want me to worry about you. So she's like, all right, I'll take it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like, again, he had to assert that. Like,
well, this is where I realized that he was in the mob. Because I was like, I don't know, he just likes to wear suits and like, I don't know. But then he said that we take care of each other.
Yeah.
And he, I think, also mentions the family thing. And I'm like,
yeah.
oh, okay.
You're like, oh, that
Mafia.
makes so much sense.
Yeah,
actually.
I get it.
Yeah. So then cut to they're in the truck. And Violet, once again, Violet is making the move. She gets in the truck
Has
with
to do
Corky.
everything.
She has to. It's like, oh my God. She gets in and it's just like, I don't like being interrupted. Like, let's basically finish what we started. So the next scene, which I want to say for certain, and I'm going to be very embarrassed if this is not like true, but they like consulted a queer woman for their sex scene, that's why it seems so realistic, right? Like,
yeah.
Does it not?
No, that's why I was looking up. Like, are these lesbians
like,
that
are
made
they?
this?
Yeah.
I liked it, and she was giving femtop fall or whatever they say about femtop all seasons.
No, honestly, she was just like, let's switch it up. Like, let me show you what like was gonna happen at my place.
Yeah.
Also very ballsy to do it at her place, right? Like the first part. Anyways, so then they have sex and they're just like, oh my God, like, you know, this is so, you know, and I feel like in a lot of lesbian movies, like the sex seems so like dramatic and like just, you know, like
it's like a 17-minute long sex scene for the male gaze, like blue is the warmest color.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I'll never get over
started on
I'm
that
so mad about it still. Like over 10 years later. Like,
I know, you're like, every chance you get, you're like, I hate that movie.
I know. I just really want people to know. We will recap that one at some point just so you can all learn more about my hatred.
FYI, that's going to be our longest episode ever.
Yes, we had to recap and dissect every single weird thing about it.
And so they have sex. Things are going great. You know, basically after that, we see that there is that attraction there with them. We know that they are clearly going to keep like going back to each other. But you think, okay, how is this going to work with Caesar, her man, sadly?
Yeah.
You know, so Corky, obviously, which is funny for a fuckboy lesbian, she gets a little jealous when she hears like noises. She sees men going to the apartment and she's like, what the fuck, Violet? Like, you know, how could you do this to me?
Okay, but also when I think of like the fuckboy lesbians, it's because they are the type that are like, I can fuck whoever I want, but my girl, and it's like this weird toxic masculinity. I don't know if she's like that, but that's my reasoning behind she's like mad about it, even though she literally knows that she has a boyfriend, but because another guy comes over, right?
Yeah, another guy that she sees, and she's like, I don't know this one. I only approve of you having sex with one your boyfriend.
I already knew about him.
Yeah, and so she's like, what's going on, right? They obviously have sex, but of course she brings it up after they have sex.
Yeah.
Like the men in your apartment, right? I'm like quoting her wrong, but she's just like, basically bringing it up. And Violet's just like, what are you talking about? Like, that's not sex, that's work. Like, I have to do this, you know? And Corky just doesn't understand, you know? They get into a little argument, a little tiff. They're just like mad at each other.
Yeah.
So Violet's just like, I'm going to do my own thing. Corky's just like, whatever. But I feel like it doesn't last very long. Like, they don't stay mad at each other very long. No. Because then the next, we see, obviously, the man that is coming, Shelly, is being accused of laundering money from the mob. Stupid. Like,
that seems like something you should never, ever do.
Yeah, never, ever do. So we see that he's getting tortured. Violet's just like, I can't take this because Shelly was a friend, you know? Like, so I don't want to be here. But Caesar, like the weird little fuck that he is like, stay. It makes me like, you know, I like it when you stay when we torture people. And she's just so like,
gross. No. Weird.
It is, right? Yeah. And then Mickey is like, he's like not the boss, but he's like the boss of them. And he's just like, don't worry, Violet. Like, go get out of here, you know? Like, don't worry about Caesar.
Yeah, you're a pretty little lady. Like, you shouldn't have to hear this.
And she's just like, okay, yeah, let me
You're
go.
right.
She's like, I shouldn't actually.
Yeah.
And so she goes, but she goes with Corky, of course. And then she spills the beans. She's like, this is what's going on. This is like, I can't take this. And Corky's just like, oh my God. She's like, this is real, you know? Like, if she didn't already think that before, you know? But I guess she didn't know what was going on in the apartment. So she's just like, oh my God. And this is where they come up with their plan.
They hatch a plan,
Yes.
a secret lesbian heist.
Yes.
I guess this would be a
yeah,
heist.
it is.
Yeah.
I feel like it is because, yeah. And so they work out the details. They're like, this is what's going to happen because we should do this. Like, they're going to find the money and we can take this. And Violet's like, I can get out. And Corky's just like, all right, you know, I can kind of trust you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
so it's $2 million, right?
yes.
Which I
$2
also, you Google it and tell me in the comments. How much is $2 million in 1996 money now?
Yes.
Because I'm curious. Because $2 million is still a lot, but it was also 30 years ago. So I feel like it's even more. Like maybe it's like 6 million. I don't know. I'm curious to find out.
Like that significance, right? We're
Yeah.
like, let us know. Yeah. Like leave a comment, you guys.
I need to know.
Caitlin really needs to know.
I can't Google it myself. It's too hard.
Because we're just lesbians.
Yes, I'm literally just a lesbian. How am I supposed to do it? So, yes. So, okay.
Yeah.
So the amount that they are going to steal, which I think they rightfully deserve because Violet has had to be with this man and she's been a secret lesbian the whole time. She deserves $2 million.
How sad, honestly, right? Like,
Yeah.
ugh. So, okay. Fast forward. Oh my God. How am I forgetting Johnny?
Stabler? Elliot
yes.
Stabler is in this.
Yes.
In case you didn't know. I forgot. I forget every time. And then they show him on the screen. And I'm like, wait, what's it? Christopher Maloney.
Yes.
I'm like, to me, he's always Stabler from SVU. And I'm like, oh my God, he's in this and he's so young. And he's
I know.
crazy.
And he's crazy. He's really crazy. Yeah.
Like violent.
He's like just erratic, basically. So Caesar and Johnny do not get along whatsoever, but Johnny is literally the mob boss's son, Gino's son. So
that's why
he
he's
gets
kind
to do
of
whatever he wants. Yeah.
Out of control.
Yeah. And Caesar's just like, oh my God. And I want to say Johnny's like younger than Caesar, right? Because Caesar looks old.
He looks young.
Old. Yeah. I want to say he's younger. Maybe that's why he's so crazy, you know, like I have this power.
His frontal lobe has not developed yet. He's just like,
I know, right?
Just killing people.
So they kill Shelly after they find the money. Caesar's pissed. He's like, now I have to wash this money because Gino is getting on a flight and he's going to be here tonight. So
there's blood all over it. And him.
Yeah. Yes.
Caesar has blood all over him because Johnny is the one that did it, right?
Yeah, Johnny just like
Stabler/Johnny.
Stabler/Johnny literally is just like, boom, like you made me mad. And Caesar's like, oh my God, you're so stupid. Like what? And he punches him. And Caesar's just like feeling on top of the world, like, oh my God, like I did this. Like I punched the mob boss's son. Like I have the biggest balls ever. But you know. So there's blood all over. He has to wash it. And Violet's just like, okay, this changes the plan kind of because he has to wash it. He has to spread it out. They're thinking they can just get like away scot-free from it. Just take it, do the whole switcheroo thing. But it doesn't really work like that because they're like, okay. And then after, I feel like it's, what would you call it? Like almost like a flash forward of events.
Oh,
right?
yeah. They kind of like switch to a scene and then from that scene, we then kind of go back in time.
Yeah, we go back to see how they're actually going to take the money, which involves them basically letting Caesar take the fall and like pitting Caesar and Johnny against each other. And they get away, which of course, lesbians outsmarting men. I love it. Like, what's more to say than that, right?
I do have to say, I don't know how much time is supposed to have passed, but it seems like they're really moving at lesbian speed, like U-hauling. Like they just met and they're like, I
trust you with my life.
I trust you. We're going to run away together. We're stealing this money. We're going to run away and live happily ever after. And I'm like, oh, that's so cute.
I know. I love that.
So maybe she's not that much of a fuckboy lesbian. She was just doing that until she found the one, you know, because
she has the
she
hard
seems like she's ready to
exterior.
be committed.
Yeah.
She gives like Cancer energy, like that she has like that like Cancer crab like hard shell, but she's just a softie inside.
Okay, but you know what Violet's giving?
What?
She's giving Scorpio.
I was gonna say that,
right? She's giving Scorpio.
She's so like aggressive and mysterious, and I don't know. All I ever hear about Scorpios, whenever people talk about Scorpios, they're like, they're very sexual.
Yeah, and I feel like Violet
okay.
is very sexual, but she's just like, I'm that bitch, basically. And
Yeah,
she is, you know, and like, yeah.
Anyway,
well, like,
I'm
back
curious.
to the plot.
Yes. Okay. So we see the scene where Corky is bound.
Literally bound and
so
gagged.
here we get the name Bound. And then we're like, oh my God, wait, how did she get there? What happened to my love? I'm so worried for her. And then we kind of backtrack to showing how she got there.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So like the series of events that leads up to that, like basically
it's a series of unfortunate events.
Really is, because I feel like so many times they were almost caught and I'm just like, oh my God, like how are you dealing with this?
So stressful.
Yeah. So after he cleans the money, he puts it, Corky basically has Violet like mess up because Caesar's like, oh my God, the mob boss is coming to our house. Everything needs to be perfect. So Violet is supposed to purposely drop something and Caesar's supposed to go to the store. But that doesn't happen because Caesar's just like, do whatever. We don't have time. And she's like, oh my God, like, then how about like, let's like, you know, and also, yes, they only have landlines. So they cannot text.
Yes.
They cannot, it's just like, what can they do? Like listen through the wall? Like he didn't let me, like he didn't go to the store. Like what happens, you know?
Scary movies. I know this isn't really a scary movie, but it is kind of a thriller, right? It's got like, you're like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? In a way, they were better in those days because now it's like, it would be so much easier to just send a text. I noticed this in current horror movies. They have to explain that there's no signal, you know, where back in the day, it's like, well, of course they can't call. They're in the middle of nowhere. They don't have cell phones. But now we have to be like, oh no, there's no bars. Like, they have to make a point to put that in there. Anyway, I'll let you talk again. I have to go. I just like go on my tirades.
That's why I'm like, it's important to note that they do not have the phone. So it's like they're hoping that everything goes according to plan. And if it doesn't, then they have to like literally like think fast and be like, what the fuck can we do? Because like one wrong move. And like this is a thing that I hate, and I'm hating that I'm gonna say this right now, but Caesar's not as dumb as he looks. He actually, unfortunately, he has a little bit of like, you know, some intelligence in him there. So he's not like, oh my God, wait, what? You know, he's just like, hold on. Because when the plan starts working and the money isn't there, he's like, Johnny, which Violet says like, oh yeah, Johnny was here. Caesar immediately is like, Johnny is setting me up. Johnny took the money. He wants me to make it seem like I was in cahoots with Shelley or like it was all like me, whatever, you know? So then he just starts getting really paranoid and is like suspecting everyone but Violet. I feel like he doesn't suspect her till later, you know? So right?
I feel like he doesn't suspect her partly because he like loves her, but also because I don't know, the patriarchy.
He doesn't want to believe.
She's a woman. She wouldn't. She wouldn't never think of this plan. But anyway, so he does not do what they want him to do. He is like, well, if you say you saw Johnny here and the money's gone, then I need to go find Johnny. So we're going to go to Johnny's house,
He's
right?
Like,
Isn't
let's
that
go.
what they do?
Yeah, they do. They go to Johnny's house. Basically, before he's just like freaking the fuck out, she's like, no, I don't want to go. And like you said, she can't just send a text and be like, I'm like, he's making me go here. They just have to trust in each other, which is also even more crazy. But anyways, they go to Johnny's. They tear up the place. He's like losing his mind. Violet's just like, we should run away. Like, let's run away. Let's just like go home and pack, right? And he's just like, no, like, no, this is not going to happen. He's like, I will not run. Because once he runs, he's basically saying that he's guilty. He took the money. So they go back. Violet is just like, this is like, basically not what was supposed to happen. Like, this is turning to shit. And Corky's just like in the walls, like in the
hoping
other
for
apartment.
some sort of update. Like, what is happening
like,
here?
What's going on? Like, she hears like the arguing, but like it's not very clear. So she's just like, oh my God, like what's going on? And so basically, Caesar's like, okay, I know what I'm gonna do. He's gonna say that Gino has not arrived yet. He tells Mickey like, hey, no, I'm jumping ahead of myself, actually.
Well, I do.
They arrive, and then he literally kills them all. And then
he does do that. It's so crazy.
I'm like, how did I skip that part where he literally kills them all?
Yeah, he kills everyone.
Yeah.
Because I guess part of it is because I think first he was upset at Johnny.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know, Johnny, you set me up, you stole the money. And Johnny's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, fuck you, and shoots him.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I don't think anyway, he shot everybody. Everybody in that room was dead. And then at some point, also cops show up, and I felt like he shot them, but I think that I imagined that because this time when I watched it, he did not shoot them. The cops were just kind of like dumb. As we said before, ACAB. They were like, I don't know what's going on. They even used the bathroom, and he had put bodies in the bathtub.
Yeah.
And they didn't notice. And
they're like,
left.
have a good day, because he says that he has like a hearing impairment, so that's why the TV is so loud, and that's why there's like movies and stuff like the gunshots.
Yeah, and they believe him because he's a rich white man.
He's a rich white man.
Yeah,
and they're like, oh my God, sorry to even bother you, sir. Oh my God, and then they leave. But I agree with you, because I swear to God, too, I saw a version where he kills the cops and he like also hides their bodies.
I know.
I don't know. I think we made that up, honestly.
Well, I
just
don't know.
wanted them to kill
version.
more men.
I know. And like, he killed a lot of people, but we're like, 2 more.
We're like, what's 2 more? Come on.
Yeah, he's already on a rampage.
I know. Yeah. So I love how I skipped that part.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's really important.
You're like...
So, okay. Yes.
Yeah. So after he kills them, he hides them and basically he calls Mickey and says that Gino never arrived. Like, where is he? Mickey is like, holy shit, like, he did not arrive. So then he is like, the plane landed. He should have been there. Like, something should have happened. Caesar is like, okay, they're going to come. We're going to like get the money. It should be here. He's still on that money, that it's somewhere there.
Yeah.
And then he finds out because Violet calls Corky, because she's like, I can't do this anymore. And he turns the gun on her and is like, you're with me or you aren't.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then she's like, okay. She makes a secret call. Oh my God. And then she hangs up. She's like, honestly, this is the part that I hate, because she's just like, oh my God, like, move faster,
I know.
girl.
He's like, who are you talking to? She's like
nobody, with their hand on the fucking phone. Like,
Caesar,
girl.
No, or whatever. And I'm like,
Yeah,
you're
she's
being,
like,
oh my
nothing.
God.
I'm like, girl.
Her little baby voice.
I know.
Oh my God.
She's like, what are you doing? Oh, that was a really bad impression. Anyways.
It was close. Yeah.
So then he's just like, that's where I say he's actually smarter than he like looks.
Yeah.
Star 67's her.
Oh yeah.
And fucking Corky does not unplug the phone. The phone's ringing so loud, and he's like,
he can literally hear it through the walls because the walls are thin and she's next door. So idiots.
I know, right? I'm like, girl, unplug the phone. Like, you hear them arguing. Like, you're gonna tell me if the walls are so thin you can't hear like what's saying, like what they're saying. I guess not. I don't
so
know.
then so then he goes over there, right? Because he's like, obviously I can tell that you were calling somebody on the other side.
Yeah,
so
he's like, who's over
it?
there?
Yeah.
And then even he's so shocked to see Corky, because once again, he cannot even fathom that 2 women are outsmarting him, and like, you know, he's like, you, and then of course he like gets so mad at her, and he's just like, I should have known,
you
and,
stupid dyke. He says like, something like that.
And he's just like, I should have known, and then he gets her, and then we're finally in the present time where she is bound and gagged.
Yes,
in the closet.
Okay, we caught up.
Yes, we caught up. She's bound and gagged, and basically Mickey comes over, and Violet's like, she shouldn't have like believed him anyways, but she's like, if you want the money, and then they hid the money in the paint, which was really smart, actually. Right?
Yeah. So Corky had hid the money in the paint so that it wouldn't be easy for anyone to find if they were in there, because who's going to look through a bucket of paint?
Exactly. But he he asked where it was. Oh, because he was going to we skipped the torture scene. He was going to cut Violet's fingers, and then Corky was like, oh my God, okay, it's in the paint. Like, don't do it.
Don't do that. I need those fingers. Just saying.
Oh my God. So... Okay.
it was just so gay.
It really was.
Like, why does it have to be the fingers?
Even in the torture, right?
I know, yeah.
So he gets the money, whatever. Violet's just like, okay, you know what? If you want me to save your ass, then we split the money and you let us go and you go on your merry way. And he's just like, whatever. Okay. She calls, she acts like she's Gino. She's like, pick up the phone, say, oh my God, Gino, whatever. They're trying to make it seem like he was in a car accident and so that Mickey can leave, right? As soon as all that happens, Caesar obviously is not going to let Violet go and is like, they're fighting. Violet escapes and calls calls Mickey in the elevator.
Mm-hmm.
And Gino's back from the dead all of a sudden. He calls Mickey in the elevator and it's like, oh my God, he forced me. Like, you have to come, right? And so Mickey's like on his way back. And
yeah, because he also wants to save a damsel in distress.
He does.
Just like Corky did.
Fuck my boss. Let's say Violet.
Yeah, she's pretty.
She's
obviously
seducing everybody.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know, like, anyways. So she's making it seem like she's just
like a victim.
She's a victim in this and not the one that like created this. Yeah. And so she's gone and it's just Corky and Caesar and they're fighting and it looks like, you know, who's going to win? Is it Caesar? Is it Corky? Well, Violet comes and the gun gets knocked across. She picks it up. Caesar's like, you know you're not going to shoot me. And Violet's like, you don't know anything, right? She's like, you don't know anything. You're not shit. Like, you don't know me. And he's just like, walking closer and she shoots him. She kills him.
Yeah.
As she should because he's an asshole.
Yeah. She's like, you don't fucking know me. You didn't even know that I was a lesbian. How many years were we together? Yeah. You couldn't tell I wasn't actually into you.
Exactly.
Why do you think you would know that I wouldn't shoot you?
Exactly. He's just like, you're not my Violet. She's like, what the fuck? I never I
was acting.
Know. Yeah.
She's like, the whole thing was a sham.
Exactly.
Yes. So now he's dead.
Yay!
That's all.
Can we get like a round of applause for that? So they're dead, and fast forward, they're in an empty apartment, and things are going great. Violet and Corky are not suspected. Mickey's just like, "Are you sure you want out?" Violet's like, "This is too much. I need to get away from this. Like, it's just too much." And so he's like, "Okay, take care of yourself." And then we see Corky in her new red truck, which she had
She had an old red truck before, but you know,
she upgraded.
What is that? It's like a TikTok or like a meme thing that's like, if I won the lottery, there would be signs. Yeah. The signs of this butch lesbian. She got a new truck.
A new red truck,
Yes.
Okay? And then they're like, oh my God, they get in together and they're just like, I don't know the difference between you and me. And like, that's such a good thing. And they kiss and they drive away and it's happily ever after, which yay, not a lot of lesbian movies have happy endings.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
It's really sweet that it had a happy ending.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people died, which is sad.
Yeah.
But no lesbians died. So that's good.
Exactly.
Because usually
It's
in
a
lesbian
win.
movies, it's like there's always some tragic thing. Somebody dies or something sad happens and they can't be together. And it's like, ugh.
Or they go back with the man. I'm like, oh my God. Thankfully, that wasn't the option.
That
honestly, when I first watched it, like for a split second, I thought that she was going to like somehow like, I obviously didn't want to think, but you know, like the theme of lesbian movies.
Yes,
I thought she was going to be with Mickey. I was like,
Like,
oh my God. I was like, please don't let that happen.
Yeah,
and then it did it. I was like, yay.
She was just using her like
Her
pretty
charm,
privilege to her advantage because when she was like, oh, I have to get away, then she gave him a kiss and he was like,
he's like, oh my God.
He tried to act cool, but he was like, oh my God.
He was like,
pretty girl kissed me. Are you sure you don't want to stay here? Like, and be my girlfriend instead?
I know. She's like, no. But also, okay, I mean, like, thankfully he respected. And I was just like, no, you're going to be with me now.
Yeah.
Because your man is like, you know,
she's pretty good at reading people. And I think it's like she could tell that he was the nicer one. He had like a soft spot for her.
Yeah.
So it was really sweet.
Yeah. Yay for happy lesbian movies.
Yeah.
Happy endings.
So thank you so much for the recap. It was so good. It was such a good movie. If anyone is listening to this and hasn't seen it, you need to go watch it.
Go get more gay right now.
Yeah. Exactly. So now here is drum roll. I don't know. That didn't even sound like drums. But this is the moment that we've all been waiting for, which is our version of Fuck, Marry, Kill, Munch, Merge, Murder. So we're going to do this with 3 characters from each film or show that we review. So the options for this one are Violet, the bartender from the lesbian bar, and that lesbian cop that said buzz off. I don't think that was the wording, but basically told her to get out of here.
She did. I want to say she did. Yeah.
She did.
Yeah.
You heard it here.
You heard it first.
Yes. 30 years later. Whatever. Okay. Who would you?
Okay, first of all, I'm going to kill the lesbian cop.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to munch Violet, and then I'm going to merge with the lesbian bartender. What about you?
You could live happily ever after.
I could live happily ever after,
They literally showed this bartender for like a
0.1
couple seconds.
seconds.
I think she was like, the huge? When Corky walked in and I was like, lesbian.
We're like, imagine she's not. She just works.
I know.
I'm like, I'm merging with you,
her
so
clientele. Yeah. You better get ready. Okay, so I think I would also kill the cop, but they only showed her for a minute, and I know she was literally like just protecting her woman, but the woman seemed like she was kind of into it. So I just felt like it was giving territorial, and I didn't like it. I would probably munch the bartender, and I would marry Violet, but it would be one of those.
Merge with Violet. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, I would merge with her. I would U-Haul with her. We would be together, but we would be like, you know how people are like marrying their best friends recently?
Yes,
like so that you can like have all your stuff together, and it doesn't mean that you have to have a romantic relationship.
Yeah. That
would be us. And then she could still be with Corky, and I would be with some other mask that I find. So that's what we would do. Then we also need to rate this. So we're going to rate it. We'll each rate it on a scale of 1 to 5 cherries. Obviously 5 being the best.
Yeah.
So what rating would you give it?
Okay, I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5 cherries because I feel like I know it was vital to the plot, but I feel like there's just too many men, like, not enough lesbian scenes, honestly. Not enough scenes between them. So 4 out of 5 because I still really like it. What about you?
I say 5 out of 5. Okay. It's one of my favorites. I love it. I love that there's a happy ending. And I love Gina Gershon. I really love the movie Showgirls, which I
God, Showgirls.
We might need to talk about it, even though it's not explicitly gay, but it's explicit in other ways.
It's
but I think it's pretty gay.
No, are you joking? They should have ended up together.
I know. Okay, so I love Gina Gershon. That's the point of that. So 5 out of 5. So if you're enjoying But I'm a Lesbian, please head over to our Instagram or TikTok and follow to stay up to date on our newest episodes and breaking gay news. Follow at But I'm a Lesbian Pod on TikTok, Instagram, and even Facebook.
And now it's time for breaking gay news.
Yes. Okay. So this is not breaking by the time this episode airs.
It's news, but it's not breaking.
It's still news and it's still gay. And I still want to talk about it because I got to get it off my chest.
Yeah.
I have a lot of feelings about gay things that happen.
Strong feelings.
Strong feelings. And I'm glad that now we have a podcast so other people can listen to me give my strong opinions. So we're going to talk about JoJo Siwa. So, you know, I think everyone knows by now, she was a lesbian. She identified as a lesbian. That was big breaking news 3 or 4 years ago. And then she went on Celebrity Big Brother UK. I don't know why she's on the UK one, but I guess they have multiple Americans on there because Mickey Rourke was also on it. He was being a really bad person. He basically threatened to rape her, corrective rape her, make her straight. That was not okay. I'm upset that he didn't get kicked off for that, but eventually he got kicked off. Yeah. But what we're going to talk about more so is that she developed this really interesting relationship with this cis-het man.
Love Island, I believe.
Okay, yeah. I'm like, he's irrelevant. I don't know what he's from. Is he British?
Yeah, he's British.
Okay, I was I think he has an accent. So it makes sense for him to be on the UK one.
Yeah.
But they became best friends. First of all, this man is my age. He's 34 or 35.
He's 32.
Okay, well, whatever. He's a lot older than her because she's 21.
She's 21, yeah.
And it started off like they were just really good friends, but they were like very touchy friends, which I thought was weird and disrespectful because she has a partner at home.
Yeah.
And so I would think that's weird if it was a girl, if it was a guy. Anyway,
literally,
that's
weird. Yeah,
I don't touch my friends like that. Like there was one point where she was kind of like leaning over on the pool table or something, and he came up behind her and like hugged her from behind.
Hugging her.
I was like, no. There is no scenario where a man's junk should be like right on my wife's ass.
Yeah.
It should never be happening.
Like never. And they were cuddling in bed. He was like rubbing her back, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here. What the fuck is it? Like, this is awful. This is a horror movie for me, honestly.
Oh my God. No, it was really bad.
It was.
And then I got the vibe that he, especially because he's older, maybe he really likes her as a friend, maybe as more, but I also felt like it was giving that kind of predatory, oh, she's a lesbian. Yeah. I'm gonna be that guy that can turn her. I know Mickey Rourke said that, but I'm being a nice guy, and I'm gonna make her straight some other way. And it's like, ew, weird. But she did start to question herself, then she came out on the show, I believe. She did. She made a statement, saying that she doesn't identify as a lesbian anymore. She identifies as queer. And you know what? That's fine.
That's totally okay.
The thing I have a problem with is that she said that she is the Q now, so F the L, which I thought was really offensive because I used to identify as pansexual, but I wasn't like, when I realized I was a lesbian, I was like, fuck pansexual.
Yeah. I'm like, fuck every pansexual, fuck every bisexual, because I used to be bi. I'm like, fuck everybody out there. No, it's like that's totally weird. Okay, but don't say that.
Yeah. And so I was offended by it. I think that she's really young and she has a lot of learning and growing to do. So, you know, I don't want to hold this against her, but I don't know. I don't think she should have said that. And also, she shouldn't have been basically cheating on
She
her
was cheating for
partner
sure.
back
I
home.
feel like that definitely was.
I mean, I think so. We can talk in another episode about what constitutes cheating.
Yeah. Especially within like the LGBTQ community, because I feel like there's like a lot of like micro cheating that people don't seem to understand. But anyways.
I think so, but then it depends on if you're dealing with a fuckboy lesbian, because they will try to convince you that it's okay that they made out with their straight friend because like they're straight. Like that type of thing. Yeah, so anyway, we'll get into that later. Let's see. So I think that's all the news we've got for today. Our old news that was breaking a few months ago.
When we heard it,
it's probably
in lesbian time. It's a few months ago.
You know what?
Sure.
And it's also, if there are any straight people listening or watching, this is probably breaking news to you.
Yeah. So
I find that they don't hear about these things until a while later. So thank you so much for tuning in to But I'm a Lesbian, your go-to for sapphic media reviews, WLW drama, and unfiltered queer takes. If you enjoyed the show, or even if you didn't, but I really hope that you did enjoy it, at least a little, please like, share, and subscribe on every platform. Yes, all of them, please, if you can. Leave us a review to help support the queer community and keep this lesbian-led pod thriving. After all, the algorithm's a bitch, and we're just two lesbians with mics out here trying to survive.
Make sure to tune in next week. We will be discussing Hotel Reverie, episode 3 of season 7 of Black Mirror.
See you next Tuesday.
Executive producers for But I'm a Lesbian are Caitlin Beatty and Angelina Herrera. Produced and mixed by Victoria Shiflett. Creative direction and video editing provided by Juanita Iraite. Music by Stiletto Falsetto.